Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Necrozma Dusk Mane in the Open Master League here. This is going to be a 100% IV. I did not get this to Best Buddy because I literally caught it on GoFest with that awesome background as a 100, couldn't believe it, and then I fused it with the Solgaleo that did have its own special background, and it kind of fuses into this crazy looking card in the back, which is, I'm gonna have to say, a pretty awesome idea by Niantic. So let's go ahead and have some fun here. This is going to be a Psychic and Steel type Pokemon. We're gonna be going with Shadow Claw, Dark Pulse, and Sunsteel Strike. Okay, that's gonna be an extremely strong Steel type attack here. We're gonna be pairing it up with Zygarde and Kyogre for the entire time, and I'm gonna have to say, I enjoyed it. I already knew it was going to be good. It's, you know, just because it's ranked a little bit less than the other form doesn't mean it's not going to be good at all, because it is steel resisting dragon, so you have a lot going on there for you. All right, folks, with that said, though, let's see what we have. If you can give this video a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. We do have quite a long video here because, I mean, had a lot of fun with it, so I did a bunch of battles. But let's go ahead and start with the commentary right about now. We're going to be leading with the Dusk Mane the entire time. I'm just going to call it Necrozma, and we're met with the other form. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get to the Dark Pulse here. It's going to be 4 times effective. Of course, we're not going to be getting to no Sunsteel Strike. No point here. And we're going to go ahead and shield them up. See if we can win this CMP, but they're actually going to be swapping into their Zekrom, so we're going to go ahead and bring in my Zygarde. Now, I found that Zygarde pairs up very well with these two, if you want to go with the Dusk Mane or Dawn Wings. But I know a lot of you still don't have the Zygarde. I understand it's completely ridiculous how to get it, and the consistency of the cells on the roots, it's just really not worth a lot of people's time, I understand. But let's see what we have. It is going to be paired up Best Buddied up, all right? And it doesn't have the best IVs, but it was good enough for me. I'm not waiting another like a year and a half to get another one. And turns out to probably be even worse, just like my Marshadow. All right, so we do have a Yveltal out here. We're going to go ahead and go for the Sunsteel Strike, doing a ton of damage. They're shieldless, and we're taking that win as they do back out there. Moving it on to the next battle. It's a still image here because I don't know why I recorded so late on this one here. But anyways, next game, we're going to be met with the Dawn Wings. So we got the Dusk Mane versus Dawn Wings going on here, getting to that Dark Pulse. And they're going to be shielding that up. Sounds good. Looks like they're going to try to almost build up to 2 here. We're going to go ahead and just shield them up as well, because we're doing quite a bit of damage with that Shadow Claw, and we're getting to the Dark Pulse first. So this is going to be good, or at least winning that CMP and taking them out here. And we're still in the yellow. It's not too much health. And they're bringing in their Ho-Oh, which is great because we do have the Kyogre at the back, which is going to be able to handle this here. No problem at all. Now, I figured they're going to be going for Brave Bird here, and then they're going to retreat into something. And that is going to be Dialga. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring in Zygarde, the good old tank here, taking a ton of damage from that Dragon Breath. Really is adding up here, but our Dragon Tail is as well right back at him. I'm going to go ahead and shield that up. Did we shield that up? And go for the Crunch here. And yes, we did use our last shield indeed. Okay, all right. So getting to the next Crunch, we should be able to just Shadow Claw them down anyways. Or no, what am I talking about? That thing is out of here. This is getting pretty close. We are able to get to the Crunch right as they do get to their charge move. Come on, let it be. All right, it's Brave Bird, and we're going to farm them down, and we take the win. Sounds good to me, Kyogre. Put it in that win at the end for us. Next game, we're met with the Zygarde itself. Sounds good. Well, this is not technically the best because they do have Crunch. We can let that go. That's no problem. We do need to look out for Earthquake, of course, but we do resist the Dragon Tail at least there. So we're going to go ahead and swap after getting off that Sunsteel Strike. Look at that damage that we just did to a Zygarde. I mean, this move is incredible. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our own Zygarde to just absorb whatever they do throw at me. And if I do recall this correctly, none of their Crunches are actually going to debuff me here. Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead and farm them all the way down to Funky Town and just come out of this battle with a bunch of energy and keeping my attack intact. All right, so they're going to go ahead and bring in their own Necrozma Dusk Mane, and we're going to just start throwing Crunches. Could have went for Earthquake. They let it go, though, so at this point, might as well just keep throwing the Crunches, and we're doing a ton of damage to them. You know, this thing is pretty strong, but both of them just simply can't take a hit too well. I understand that it is super effective, but that's coming from a Necrozma. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and bring in our Necrozma ourselves, and they have a Solgaleo out there? Okay, well that's going to be super effective to us, so we're going to go ahead and swap into our Kyogre. The reason why obviously I'm using Kyogre is to protect us from fire because of that steel type on the Dusk Mane itself. I mean, I'm still like kind of just, I'm not like processing it, but these Pokemon are just incredibly amazingly strong. Okay, it's going to be really cool in the future. You're going to have so many other ways that they can move forward with different ideas, but I do believe they pulled this one off pretty well. That's probably why a lot of times things are glitchy or frustrating. I understand it did require a ton of energy, but I love the fact that we do not have to have a timer on them. We can just fuse them and keep them that way for as long as we want. I'm also pretty stoked that I did get another 100 with the freaking card. That was just like mind-blowing. Probably one of the best things that I caught on GoFest. All right, anyways, rambling about that. Zygarde going for a crunch, and we're getting a shield out of them, and we got 2 shields out of them. Fantastic. Okay, I do believe they have a good amount of energy over there, so we're going to go ahead and just bring in the Necrozma and let this go here. Damn, Draco Meteor, not very effective, still doing a decent amount of damage. Bringing in a Garchomp, we're going to go ahead and just get to the Sunsteel Strike. How much is this going to do? Should almost KO, just about. So we are going to be able to almost Shadow Claw them down. We're just going to let it go. It did its job. Plenty of work. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the Kyogre, take them out. And even though this is resisted, Kyogre's still amazing. So if you do have a good Shadow that you've powered up or you're thinking about powering it up, if it does have decent IVs, then yeah, you shouldn't have any regrets for that because it is amazing, especially if you do play in Master League, okay? It also is going to be just an outstanding water type attacker for the raids, for sure. But anyways, next game we are going to be met with a Palkia Origin here, resisting that Dragon Breath. The Aqua Tail is going to be doing a decent amount. Of course, Steel is going to be resisted by the Palkia because of its water, so we don't have to worry about getting to the Sunsteel Strike. We're just going to throw these Dark Pulses at it here, which does do a good amount of damage. And we do let that first Aqua Tail go because we can survive. I was trying to catch one here, but unfortunately not quite. And this is going to be a Spatial Rend now, doing a good amount of damage to us. It is super effective, and that move is very strong. But the Zygarde taking it like a champ, still in the yellow. Bringing in a Ho-Oh. Okay, so we have that Dragon and water, so I don't think there's going to be anything the Kyogre may need to worry about unless they're running like a double Dragon, maybe Dialga in the back, but I highly doubt that. So we're looking pretty good here, still holding on to 2 shields, not really wanting to try to farm us down. They're going to go ahead and throw, using all that energy on a Sacred Fire. That's awesome. Bringing in the Kyogre. Now I am going to shield this up because more than likely it's a Brave Bird, and we want to kind of maintain that health. And they do have a Landorus in the back, so that is a wrap. So they have 2 Pokemon in the back, weak to water, as they did have the Dragon and water in the front that does have a massive resistance. So that's you can see how that works there. And well, this is a wrap. Gonna go ahead and swap into Necrozma, get to the Dark Pulse, and take the win here. I mean, this thing is, there's no questions in whether or not, oh, should I max out my Necrozma, you know, Dusk Mane or Dawn Wings? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you were, you know, going hard enough and able to get enough XL candies to make 2 of them, then go for it, all right? And you have to also think about this too. Stepping away from the commentary for a second like I usually do with my rambles, but Necrozma is going to get an ultimate form in the future. I do believe it is going to be Dragon and Psychic, and that thing, I said it before, I'll say it again, it really looks like a Digimon, and that is going to be toppling, I do believe, the charts as far as damage, even probably surpassing Rayquaza, I do believe, or maybe somewhere near it. Yeah, but you're going to be able to unfuse and then somehow make that happen. So your Necrozma is always going to be useful. Just keep that in mind. One of them is going to be great, especially, you know, maxing it out. You can unfuse and refuse. All right, just want to make that clear because people are asking me about that. So swapping into the Kyogre, we're going to go ahead and just absorb this here. Yeah, Sandsear Storm, no problem. I mean, it does start really adding up on top of lowering your attack, but we're doing super effective damage here. But they are lowering my attack pretty fast, and now one more is going to be enough. So I think we're going to just shield this up. Yeah, farm them all the way down. Our attack has been dropped by 3 stages at this point, and we're just going to go ahead and throw the Surf. There's really nothing else that we can do. I don't think we can swap yet. Yeah. And getting to another one, we are going to take the win here. I do believe they just let it go. Yeah, they realized it was over there, so taking that win, good game. Moving it on to the next one here. Oh, finally, something I was waiting for this match. We have a Mewtwo out here, so that Shadow Claw is going to be doing a ton. We're not getting staff from the Shadow Claw. We're not getting staff from the Dark Pulse because we are going to be Psychic and Steel, so the only thing we are getting staff from is going to be the Moongeist Beam. And somebody asked me, I already responded in the comments, but Stab is same type attack bonus, meaning you're going to be doing more damage with that move because that Pokemon is actually the type of the move, so you get extra damage. Now this is the OP power of Zygarde here. We're going to take out this dang fairy type Xerneas with just Earthquake, so he's going to hit me with the Moonblast here. I mean, it's super effective, does a lot of damage. Is that thing even powered up all the way? Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so Zygarde is just a monster. Alrighty, so we're taking out the fairy after getting hit by 2 Moonblasts. Let's go. Bringing in Mewtwo to farm us down. That's not good. A couple of Psycho Cuts is really going to go a long way to farm that Mewtwo up. We're going to go ahead and let that go, though. Hitting me with a Shadow Ball. I swap into my Necrozma, and it's a wrap. They back out. We take that win. Moving it on to our next opponent. What are we going to see here? A Dialga. Sounds good. We like to see this because, well, we are Steel type. And it's even better than Metagross matchup because you're doing at least some good damage going right through it with Shadow Claw and Dark Pulse. They swap into a Ho-Oh. I bring in my Kyogre, and I'm going to farm them down here. A little risque, but I was counting, so I'm pretty sure I was all right there. And we're just going to go ahead and start throwing these Surfs on this Dialga. Do as much as we can. I mean, some damage is better than none. In some cases, this is what we want to do here, so we can take them out that much easier with one Dark Pulse with the Necrozma here. And let's go ahead and throw that. And again, if you're wondering which one you should make, they're both good, okay? But I made it pretty clear before. If you missed that video, though, it's probably going to be this one right here, Dawn Wings, okay? But I'm not saying this one, since Dusk Mane's not good. They're both good, okay? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and let that go. Hitting me with the Moongeist Beam. All right. Let's freaking go. We take that damage. And if I miss saying the name for the special move on mine, forgive me. My bad. I'll get it right from now on here. All right. So we're going to be getting a nice 4-1, I do believe there. And we're going to be finishing this off actually with a 5-0 towards the end. That's the last thing we're going to see. Next game, we're going to be met with a Zacian. They're going to be swapping into their Landorus. We're going to easily bring in our Kyogre here and just take control of the situation. Remember, that is going to really start adding up. So as far as farming them down, I mean, it's possible. Just got to be really quick on the swap, because if they start getting in those quick moves, it's going to be a wrap for you. So we take them out barely, which is great because, well, the next Pokemon's not going to be able to really get too much farm off of us here. Maybe like a couple of quick moves. So we're going to go ahead and throw that Surf, and it is going to be a Yveltal. Sounds good. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Zygarde. They immediately swap back into the Zacian, and we bring in our Dawn Wings, or Dusk Mane. And we'll let that Wild Charge go, doing quite a bit of damage. Now they dropped their attack by 2 stages. Let's see if we can get a shield with this Dark Pulse. No shield, unfortunately, but doing a lot of damage. Getting to the next one, and this is all I really need to do. The Zygarde can handle the Zacian, no problem. No, Yveltal. Forgive me, folks. It's been a long day. All right, we're going to go ahead and go for the Sunsteel Strike. They are going to be, of course, shielding it up. That's all right. Now, this is technically, could be a bad matchup for us, but because our charge moves are not very effective. But we're so tanky, and we shielded up the Focus Blast that they already knew it was a wrap. So we're taking that win. Next game, we're going to be met with a Origin Palkia here. We've seen this before. Let's go ahead and see if we can maybe catch this time, or maybe we'll just go ahead and just stay all the way and let it go down with the ship here. Or they're going to swap. Fantastic. We're going to go ahead and hold on to that energy and bring in Kyogre and start doing that ton of damage like we've been doing. We've already seen this like 5 times already during this video. So let's go ahead and do it here. I do believe I actually throw because I was a little slow on the swap this time. Yeah, I was. There you go. So that's a good example. See, a little too slow. They're going to get that much more of an energy advantage to take you out. And it's better to not risk it because they dropped that attack. So just go for the Surf. And of course, this is going to do hardly any damage. Massive resistance, plus our attack has been dropped, but I'm just going to throw it anyways and do a little bit there. All right, bring in back the Necrozma. We're going to go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse. And they're letting it go. We immediately swap to catch an Aqua Tail. I would assume that we're going to throw. Oh, beautiful. What do you have in the back? All right. Oh, there you go. They've got their own Dusk Mane back there. Sounds good to me. That was fairly quick. I'm going to bet that this is going to be Dark Pulse. Fantastic. That's good. And we're going to just go ahead and go for these crunches, seeing that they're super effective. And they'll be doing plenty of damage. They still have 2 shields holding on to that. I don't understand why you wouldn't shield that up. That makes no sense to me at all. But that's all right. We're going to go ahead and shield up that Dark Pulse and go for another crunch here. Maybe because they resist the Dragon Tails, they know that we're not going to be able to farm them down. Okay, never mind. That's why they let it go. Playing it on the razor's edge here. So we're going to let that go. We barely survive. I was like, come on, survive with 1 HP. And we do. Getting to the damn crunch, taking out the Necrozma, swapping back into our Dusk Mane, and then they back out right at the end there, right before we do get to our charge move. All right, we have another fun battle here. We have the Dusk Mane versus the Dawn Wings. Let's get it on. Oh, they're going to immediately swap into their Origin Palkia, so we're going to go ahead and bring in our Zygarde here. That was very quick, so we're going to go ahead and bet that that's going to be an Aqua Tail. Oh, it's a Spatial Wren. Okay, I guess I wasn't counting. I'm not paying attention and taking into accountability of the ×2 speed. Duh. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just go for that crunch, and they're getting to the next charge move. Now, this one will be an Aqua Tail. We will let this go. All right, so calling that Spatial Wren, very nice. And this is going to do a ton of damage if they let this go. All right, they shield it up because it is 4 times effective because of that Psychic and Ghost. We get to another one. My gosh, what's going on over there? They want to try to farm us all the way down. I think that's what they do. Using both shields on it, we drop their defense, so now we're going to be doing that much more. They're retreating with energy and bringing them to Landorus to start building up that energy. Very smart there. We still have 1 shield left. They are shieldless at this point, and they have a ton of energy on their Dawn Wings, so we have to keep that in mind. The thing is going to be doing devastating damage if it even throws a charge move at our Dusk Mane. So Kyogre takes care of the Landorus. We'll let this go. They hit me with Moongeist Beam and bring in the Mane, and we take them out, or they back out. They realize it's over. Next game, we're going to be met with a Ho-Oh. Horrible lead for me here. So we're going to go ahead and swap into the Zygarde. Hopefully they don't bring like a Togekiss, because that's pretty much Zygarde's worst enemy. I think in Master League, technically. Zacian, that's fine. We'll take this. Typically, if they have Quick Attack, what they're going to be running is Close Combat and Wild Charge. So I probably should have waited for them to throw, so I could have went, for the more damage after they drop their defense after going for, say, Close Combat like that. So we don't have to worry about Play Rough. Again, typically if they run Quick Attack, then they're going to be going with Close Combat and Wild Charge. And Zygarde can handle that quite easily here. We are going to let it all go, though, because they did drop all their defense. And what we want to start to do now is farm them up with the Dusk Mane. I'm going to forever get those confused for another week, okay? Same with the moves. All right, so we farm them down, 1-to-1 shield. We have all this energy. They bring in Ho-Oh. We're going to go ahead and throw a Dark Pulse. This is going to do good damage. And then we're going to swap into our Kyogre. And of course, they have a Dialga Origin in the back. Now, we do have Thunder, unfortunately. We're not running Blizzard or Origin Pulse, but Thunder has saved my butt so many times. I typically didn't run it before, but I like it now. All right, so we're going to call these, okay, they're shieldless. And we're getting to another Surf. Now, although they do resist it, it is starting to add up here. We're bringing them into the yellow, so it's not bad at all. Now, what we need to do at this point is make sure we shield up a... not a Spatial Wren was the other one. Roar of Time. Okay, but they're going to be swapping back into their Ho-Oh. We're going to take them out before they can do any damage at all. And see if we can get to our dang Dark Pulse. We do. Amazing. All right. Dusk Mane putting in the work over here for us. And it is going to be kind of rare getting off the Sunsteel Strike, because it's just such a gamble. All that energy for them to just shield it up. Typically, you're going to, wait for them to use all their shields. Not all the time, though. All right, so we have a mirror match. Oh, snap. Are those both the same combat? Yes, they are. So the CMP is going to be charge move priority, basically roll the dice. So we're going to go ahead and catch, though, here after we do all that damage and get a shield out of them. So they're bringing in Yveltal. All right, so we've discussed this before. This is typically not a good matchup, so let's see how this does play out here. So what you're going to want to do is just keep going for Crunch, unless you have Outrage, of course, in which case you just hit Outrage, right? But the Dragon Tail does so much. We're so tanky. Look at that. It's just starting to add up over time. And if you go for Crunch and lower their defense, obviously it's not very effective. What are you going to go, Earthquake? Just keep going, Crunch. Hey, there we go. We got some defense down, and we're doing more damage. And this is going to KO us, so we're going to go ahead and shield it up, see if we can win the swap here. But they're bringing back their Dusk Mane. We're going to go ahead and go for Crunch. It's super effective. They let it go. We swap. Unfortunately, I was not quick enough, or they had enough energy right in the nick of time, so we're not really catching or taking them out or sniping them, and now we're freaking shieldless. So they have a Dragonite in the back. We're just going to go for the Dark Pulses. I mean, again, they're going to shield. Yeah, exactly. Now, at this point, they're going to get to a Dragon Claw, and that should be enough. That's a Shadow, and I mean, these Necrozmas really can't take a hit too well. But we do have Kyogre with a ton of health, so we should be okay. And there you go. That is going to take the win for us right there, because we're able to get that much more energy for the Thunder to take out the Dragonite. I mean, a Surf and a half would have been good too there. All right, next game, Necrozma versus Gyarados. This is a decent matchup. I mean, they do have Crunch, and they are swapping into their Zekrom here. We're going to go ahead and bring in our, you already know, Zygarde to handle the situation. They're going to go for Crunch because they don't want to go for Fusion Bolt because, well, you already know. It's not very effective. As a matter of fact, it's massively resisted, so this is a great matchup for us. Taking that win. And what are they going to throw back into the game? It's going to be the Gyarados. Sounds good. So they're probably going to Dragon Breath me down here, but not before I get off a ton of damage. So we did drop their defense. Can we get to another Crunch? Oh, right at the nick of time, or almost there. That's okay. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Kyogre to farm them down here. It's not very effective, but I mean, it's still a fine matchup. I'm not trying to take Crunches with my Dusk Mane. And they have their own Dusk Mane, immediately swapping into mine, except for theirs is shiny. And that is going to be a 100. That's a Shundo over there, folks. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Dark Pulse. That pink color looks really cool with that kind of navy color for the Necrozma that's fused with it. These things look just so awesome. I'm really happy with them. Anyway, going for the next Dark Pulse and beating them here. Let's go. Thank you very much. My shiny is better than, well, it's not. I don't have a shiny, but mine's better than your shiny. I'm just joking. And bringing in the Kyogre to finish off this match. It's going to go for a Surf and take the win. And we're looking good. What are we going to see for our next matchup here? It's going to be a Palkia Origin. They're going to be swapping into a Giratina. We're going to go ahead and bring in our Zygarde to have a little fun with this thing. Now, I've encountered a couple of these that do have Dragon Pulse, and if they do have Dragon Pulse, it's a little bit of a different matchup for you. Yeah, you're not going to be as comfortable, but typically people are going to be running Shadow Ball and Ominous Wind here, so we're not going to just let them keep Shadow Balling us to death because it is starting to add up. So we're going to go ahead and take them out there with that Crunch and then a Dragon Tail. They bring back their Dialga. I freaking screw up. I know. What were you thinking? I thought I was maybe going to be able to get to the Earthquake, so we wasted all that freaking energy. We could have went for a Crunch at least. Oh, so horrible. I think I do it again. Or no, never mind. We're going to take the win. They see the Kyogre and back out. All right, fantastic with that Ho-Oh that they did have. Next game, a Dialga. All right, another good lead for us here. They're going to be swapping into their Landorus, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our Kyogre. Now, you tell me how they can pull out of this situation, all right? Let's just see what happens here, okay? I'm not going to say the big A word here. Not going to say it. Let's just see what they can potentially do. Now, at that point, the reason why I wasn't tapping the bubbles for Surf is I realized, oh, crap. I should have let them do a little bit more damage. Now this Dialga is going to be able to get that much more farm and do that much more damage with its charge moves and have that much more energy up against my Dusk Mane here. So we're going to shield this up because Draco does do a lot to damage, and I don't really want to take that. And they do have a Ho-Oh in the back. Now this is getting a little tricky, but since Zygarde is such a damn tank and kind of quite literally like a third shield, maybe even a fourth shield for crying out loud. So they go for Sacred Fire. They haven't used this damn shield yet. I'm over here like, okay, sounds good to me, I suppose. Going for a Crunch, and they let it go again. I'm like, no. All right, well, at this point, that doesn't really make sense, but okay, you do whatever you got to do. Maybe they're just saving, both of their shields for, their Dialga here, but I mean, that's a little risky with the Shadow Claw that we do have on our Dusk Mane. But hey, you do what you got to do. So at this point, what we're going to do is just go for the Dark Pulse here. We need to get to one more, and we're going to take the win. This is going to be our 5-0, I do believe, folks. And we're going to close out this video here in a second. We might have one more battle, I think, actually. All right, so we shield up the Draco. Yeah, we got one more battle. And they back out there, so we don't even need to hit the bubbles, and we're going to take the win. All right, now this is going to be the final showdown here. What do we have going on? Dusk Mane. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Look at that. Dawn Wings versus Dusk Mane. Let's get it on. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Dark Pulse. I do believe they're going to be out. Just winning that CMP every time here. Just taking it over me. And let's see. Shielding it up. Okay, swapping. Oh, look at the team. What a way to end the video here. All right, they're bringing in their own Zygarde. We're going to bring in our own. This is, turning out to be pretty good here. We're going to go ahead and go for Crunch ourselves. Again, if you run Outrage, that's going to help you out immensely going up against another Zygarde or even just a flyer in general, particularly Yveltal, right? All right, so we're going to get to another Crunch here. I don't think their Zygarde's all the way powered up, though. Let me see. It's up there, actually. All right, so we are going to let this go, and what we're going to do is farm them down at this point. So I don't remember if I go in here with... Okay, we're bringing Kyogre. Sounds good. We don't want to take a Crunch. We take them out anyways before they even get to one, and they bring in a Palkia. I'm thinking, oh, crap. I don't know. I'm not going to lose hope yet, but we're just going to go ahead and go for that Thunder. They used their last shield. I'm a little confused, and they're going to go ahead and throw here, which sounds good to me. So we'll let that Spatial Rend go. They swap into their Dawn Wings. We're going to farm them down, and we take the win. All we need to do is get off 2 Dark Pulses. There you have it. Duskmane, folks, in the Open Master League. Absolutely amazing. Now, between both of them, they both work in their own way, okay? I feel like this one's a little bit more flexible, but the other one hits just like crazy with its moves. But anyways, they're both pretty strong. Doesn't really matter. So the choice is yours. They're both amazing. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.
Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic!